We got one.
It's probably you watching that.
I got a thumbs up.
I'll make it 2. I'll do it. I want to see this.
Well, no, you might blow us off because you got all the connections.
Yeah, probably better.
What's up, guys? Welcome. We're trying out the live chat. So we're out here in Special Ops Fitness in the team room tonight. So happy Friday to you. What's going on? Just trying to build an audience and see who we can get here. Hit me in the chat if you're you got anything. Got some thumbs up.
Start.
Let's do it.
I guess we're that good. How many are on now? You see?
We got one.
Oh, gee.
We're hoping to get 10. The goal is 10. We get 10, we're good to go.
See, this is where we need to light a fire. Well, it's raining outside now, so there's no fire. No fire tonight.
Yeah.
Next weekend, we'll see. So I erased the missions down for tomorrow.
Yeah.
I hope I took a picture of it with my phone the other day. YouTube's tough, man.
Yeah, it's tough.
So let's see here. Shot shotgun today, so we can talk about that.
Yeah.
Man, that shotgun's, that is impressive, man.
Yeah, I'm glad we got the footage on that. We did the video. Very, it's going to work out pretty good. And it was very impressive. It handled good. The distances were pretty good on it.
Yeah, I want to go further. I want to
Yeah.
get dialed in.
Yeah. We got a Steven shotgun. So we got that on made by Savage. So we were able to get a good deal on that. I picked it up, brought it out to the range, was sighting it in. I had it internally on a 25-yard range, but it was our first time kind of running it outdoors. So we got it out to, we ran some rifle slugs instead of the scatter shot, bird shot. And we kind of sighted it initially at 25 yards. And I had Cody running the gun. And we took it to 100 yards. And it's kind of a tactical shotgun with the handle and heat shield and whatnot. But I was very surprised. You could dial it in 100 yards. I mean, it was legit 100 yards. We had a AR 500 plate, and we were definitely getting on it there.
I think we can go to 200. I'm pretty sure we can go to 200.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, if you guys got any questions out there, whoever's watching, put them in the chat, and we'll. I got an iPad right here, so we can talk about it. So if you got anything for Cody, anything for me, we'll be happy just to shoot the breeze.
Who just came on? Send us your name.
Yeah, don't be shy. Type away.
So then tomorrow,
yeah,
we're gonna have a busy day. So that's gonna be we're gonna be hitting it hard. Getting first operations order and rolling right into all-day missions that go hand in hand. So.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. That's the kind of the continuation of a sharpshooter class that Cody has. So we kind of do camo. He's here in North Charlotte. So if you guys are in the range, in the area, you can come check him out. Oh yeah, I had a video on that, so you could check out that video. It gives you a taste of what's happening. Got some feedback that somebody can't get the live chat to work. Interesting.
You're gonna cuss us out as soon as you stupid.
The other button, the big button. No,
Here, I was on it. Someone texting you that?
Yeah. I'm getting some chats that, yeah, can I get a test?
I'm doing it right now.
Test chat.
I just sent one.
I can do it.
Now my screen froze up. Oh, I gotta push play maybe. Did mine come through?
No. Brett, did you get mine when I said test? Did that show up?
Chat disconnected. Please wait while we try to reconnect.
It's because we're sharing the same.
So I should close this up.
Probably. We're all using the same, your connection there. Sorry guys for the technical difficulties. It may be a false start. Who knows?
So the plan is to have a fire and do a fireside chat, but the weather went south on us. Tried to build a little hooch, but it was just coming down too much. There's another message.
Where? Oh, I missed it. Huh.
Give him, is that Chad? A friend of yours?
Brett.
Brett. Mm-hmm. Give everybody Brett's phone number, and they can text him, and he can forward
There you
it.
go. Yeah, guys. This might be a false start here. Dang. How come we can't get our chats going?
Let me check it out. It's fireside chat. We don't have a schedule, so.
So it says live chat. All messages are visible. Ah.
Hey, there's one.
Where?
Up on that one.
No, it's me. I'll type that down here. Oh well. Dang.
We're hanging with it. No, let's figure this out. We're at a fireside chat. We're not on a schedule, right? That's what I think.
Let me consult my camera. I got yours.
Okay.
That just came through?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. We're up. Brett, you should be able to text me again. Try again. I mean, through the live stream.
They're strange.
No. Dang.
That come up? What, test 2?
No. Yes.
Okay.
Got a delay going on.
All right.
Not getting it, Brett says.
I closed out and started it back out live. I think when I texted before, it was paused. I remember I said my picture was locked up. So maybe you gotta be live.
Gotta be live, Brett.
Just a technical talk.
Well, dang, guys. We apologize. That sucks. For those that are watching, welcome, but we're having text-to-chat issues. If you guys want to try to drop me a quick test chat, that would be awesome. We have one viewer that we know, Brett, trying to text us, but it's not working.
If I got through though, I'm separate.
It's pretty basic, yeah. I think it would work. Yeah. Oh, well. Well, we can... Hey, Brett, can you hear us at all? How's our audio? Good. All right, cool. We're going to go this way. All right, so...
Give his phone number.
So Brett's local. So why don't you take him through your classes? And, you know, Brett does a lot of shooting with us and with me. And he knows Daniel Richardson.
Okay.
So why don't you... Brett, this is for you.
So, Brett, nice to meet you. So, yeah, what I do here, I'm on about 35 acres of land. I can shoot from 0 up to 300 yards. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 different lanes we can use. 3, 4 of them you can use at the same time. And what I like to do here is utilize the outside space and do a lot more movement in the training. So your average drill in indoor range lasts till what, 10 seconds?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah.
I like to make my drills last minutes. So longer movements, using natural terrain. And then I do a pistol carbine class. It's kind of your basic tactical class. And I do a marksmanship class towards the sniper thing, but not full-blown sniper. Don't make it miserable. Pistol, combative stuff. The key I like to do at the end of all my training, though, is put all that stuff together into a mission. And probably can't see it, but at the end of the day, I'll give out a full-blown operations order, and we'll do everything from link-ups to infill, movement to the objective, hit the objective, and back out. So it's kind of fun. It's fun. They're not overly long, hour, maybe start to finish, but we utilize vehicles, contacts, role players if needed. So just doing a little different, that's all.
Yeah, I liked it. You could bring your AK or AR. Of course, I had a video on it. And it was kind of a multi-day thing, as Cody's refined in the class. And it had an outdoors component where when we were in the woods, which was really neat with camouflage. Of course, we do a lot of the basics when you kind of, it goes over your gear, make sure everything's squared away, and you're kind of doing this safety and, professionalism kind of thing. Anybody needs any tweaks or adjustments, Cody kind of took us through that. And then you really kind of sight in your gear, which was nice. So a lot of guys, we think we have our little whiz-bang red dots on our guns, or guys may have some scopes, a brand new scope, because it's not too often. In a lot of places, you just don't have the range. You can't take it outside. So guys can do the variable optics, the 1 to 4s, the 1 to 6 powers, 1 to 8s, and you can kind of bring it. And that's kind of what I like. There's a lot of pressure. If you've ever been to a lot of other classes outdoors like I have, that you kind of get real nervous because you're like, oh crap, I just bought all this stuff. I'm slapping it on. Maybe I didn't Loctite it. Something's going to fling off. That happens. But anyway, it's an opportunity to come here. If you come the day before, that's what I also like. You can kind of dry run. You can get your base 0, Cody, like a 25 or a 50 or a 100-yard 0.
Yeah.
You can get that kind of adjusted so you're getting on target where you want to be and with your AK or whatever, and kind of get your magnifiers. And that was the big thing for me. If I'm going to go invest in training, I want to make sure my gear has a preliminary level set. Now, it's a standard. We all should be that way. But believe it or not, if we go into indoor ranges, a lot of the indoor ranges are 25 yards. So you but what I realized was a 25 yard, well, it's a matter of inches between 25 and 75 and just holdovers and things. But I kind of feel like, in my own opinion, the 25-yard 0 is not the greatest. So I wanted to be able to go to like a 50-yard 0 So I was really in this environment. I was able to kind of dial my stuff in, and that way when we did the longer shots and shooting, as you go through the exercises and the drills, I know I'm not dilly dallying around with my stuff not being on point, because that's frustrating. You know, you want your situation sorted out before you hit the drills.
Yeah, nothing's worse than hitting the drills and your gun's not sighted in.
Yeah.
So that's when I started come the night before the class. We'll do all that stuff, get everything squared away, have a fire, grill some burgers, camp out the night, and then get into it in the morning.
Yeah. And this is what I love here. You guys are seeing part of the team room. So, I mean, how cool is that, right? So you have the whiteboards and the missions, and we could spin the camera around, show you guys the rest. We got a restroom down here, refrigerator. It's pretty cool. Yeah, nice setup.
Thanks.
Yeah. And I would kind of peek outside, but it's getting dark now, of course.
Yeah, so...
what else is...
well, we just can do a lot of stuff here.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. And we can change things up. We can work at your level. The one thing I'm big on, too, is being a minimalist. And say that tongue-in-cheek, but I don't want people to think they need a $1,200 rifle to come to the marksman course. So I shoot with some cheap hunting 30-06 I got. On my AR, I've got a stock AR. I use iron sights. You know, that's all you need. Training's more important than gear. Reliability is more important than good looks, kind of thing. So whatever you got, bring it. I don't care if you got a revolver and a leather holster. We'll work with it. It is, and I believe that. I'm like, that's what you got. I worked with the Kurds, Afghans, and stuff like that, and they did just fine with what they had, and you just made it work. So I kind of take that philosophy here. I want to get people into shooting, and I want to get them in without having them think they have to get all the latest and greatest equipment.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that's the other hand too. You know, a lot of times you can spend $2,000 on a rifle, and then you can put $700 on an optic or more, and you know, before you know it, it's always something. I think what a lot of people too realize is they miss things like slings. If you're going to start training, you're very quickly going to realize you need a good sling or a sling, right? And because if you're not doing it, you're buying all this crap, and then you don't have like the basics. Or that's one thing I started when I started doing more rifle. Because me personally, I did a lot of pistol for the last 3 years, a lot weekly, and I was finding little stuff. It wasn't about the brand of my AR. It was about, like, do I want a bungee sling, 1 to 2 point, like bungee, or do I want like something with a pad on it? And then for me, you know, like the bungee was like pinching me in the back, you know, like basic stuff. And here it is, my favorite brand that I wanted to love, and I was like, this thing's gone. Yeah. You know, I'll try another one. So it's the little things that I started to notice as I practice more with rifle and carbine.
And then then you go from that level. Yeah. Now you're throwing on a plate carrier. So now does it work with your plate carrier with your 6 magazines sticking out front? And then does it work with the plate carrier when you're running 100 yards? So that's the thing. You got to kind of shake everything out. Got to crawl down into the bushes, and then you start realizing, like, this crap is hanging off on every limb I walk by. So.
All right. No comments, but we got a hello, a thumbs up. Hey.
All right.
Hey, Adrian. Yeah. So.
Yeah, you gotta, but you don't have to go out and spend a ton of money up front. And I see that all the time. Guys come, $80 slings, and they mess with it the entire day trying to figure out how it works. And in the end, they get a 2 point like me, and a piece of cargo strap works just fine for most things. So.
You know, for me, you have to be willing to just kind of be open-minded and flexible. And kind of tweak your setup. I remember I went to a rifle class in Tennessee, and man, I was really, really nervous. I had to do the drive, the plan, the money, the gear, my 1,000 rounds of ammo, had all my stuff, you know. I'm thinking, did I miss something? And I'm kind of getting, you know, prepared. Then I'm driving. I want to be early. I want to be on time. And I think I was running an AK, brand new AK, with not a lot of experience, kind of with the manual of arms and using it. I was so nervous, like trying to just take my, you know, magazine and kind of get it in. So I was fidgeting and stuff. The reality is, I guess don't do that. Get more practice with a gun. But I think on the other hand, I think it's normal as a student. If you're trying, you got to start somewhere. So, you know, I'm not judging the person, you know. A lot more people sit back and just buy stuff, like you said, accoutrements and, you know, whiz-bang stuff, as I like to say. And they take less training, unfortunately. But, you know, that's another thing, you know. A lot of people think just because they were in the military, they're like experts.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. No, I mean, when I got to Special Forces, I'd seen like every movie, John Rambo and everything. That's well, I think I did my whole career based off the want of a knife with a compass on it. But I thought it was going to be this wazoo stuff, and I get in there and there's nothing wazoo really. There's some equipment, but like I remember I got to my first safe house in the Balkans, and I'm thinking it's gonna be some James Bond stuff, you know. And I go up to the op center room, and they had a poncho up on the wall. And I like yanked it back, and there's yarn with push pins and these like printed pictures off some crap printer we had over there, you know. And I'm like, this is it. This is the best we can do. So my mom bought me my first gun flashlight because we didn't have them.
Wow.
You know, trying to get magazines for your pistol was tough. Matter of fact, when I first deployed overseas with my new team from 3rd Group, after I came active, I was at Bragg in processing, and they're like, well, you're Special Forces, you guys got all that stuff for you. So I go to the unit. Now, the main unit had left. They're already overseas. And what's the supply guy? They got all your stuff down range. I'm like, okay. So I get to overseas, and they're like, we ain't got crap for you, man. So they had a set of plates. And I did that first rotation with a $12 plate carrier I bought at the Kandahar. Some Pakistan guy made it for me. $12. It's in the museum now in Fayetteville, Special Ops Museum. It's on the Humvee display there. But yeah, I had a $12 plate carrier. Man.
That just doesn't. That seems incredible.
Then I had to borrow pouches. So all the pictures from my first rotation looked like Joe Shit-Raid Lewis running around Afghanistan. Had to buy a baseball cap from the PX in Kandahar. Said some counter-terrorist task force BS, you know. I'm like, yeah, that was it, man.
Wow. When was this? What year?
It was 02, 03.
Wow.
It was early.
Early.
You know, go 2 years later, and now we're each getting a bag with 700 pouches in it and stuff.
Yeah. I guess the supply chain and all that kind of, the machine.
It caught up, yeah.
Kind of caught up and started getting the supplies up there.
But it was rough. Man, Mom bought me a flashlight.
Wow.
Then I couldn't attach it to my gun, right? Because I didn't have the rail attachment at first. And one day we were clearing this compound, and we were going to all these dark rooms. It was bright outside, daylight, morning, and we're going in. And so I didn't have my flashlight attached to my gun. It was hanging off my thing. So I go clear all these rooms with my pistol and a flashlight. And I went in one room and I almost shot a donkey in the face. But that was yeah, so there you go. I'm going to try to find a picture to show you real quick. But
crazy.
Doesn't probably give you much confidence in me.
Hey,
no,
you know how to adapt, improvise, and overcome.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey guys, if you have any questions, welcome. We're just hanging out. Look at that.
What do we got?
There is Tim. Hey Tim.
Woo.
Nobody's coming in. We got some guys hitting us. Try to bring us in the chat if you can. We're kind of testing that feature out. There we go. I'm the chat moderator. Yeah, fire away if you guys have some questions. Pick your topic. Army guy, Navy guy, take it easy on me.
You could just make stuff up though about how I hand drop the rods into the nuclear device.
Nuclear reactor. Well, my second ship did have 2 nuclear reactors on it. And I remember talking to the nukes. We call them nukes. They go to school for so long. They come out. They come out E5s right out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're new. We call it the fleet. When you come to the surface fleet, you have no experience. You're a noob. Call them boots or something. I forget. But yeah, you go on these nukes. If you're on a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, it's very rare they have nuclear-powered cruisers. Of course, everybody knows about the submarines. You get your boomers, your fast attacks. But yeah, those guys, high pressure. They do some serious stuff around reactors, and I think it's in Mississippi. But you better be good in math if you're interested in going down that path. Instead of MOS, we call it rates. They were the nukes.
Do they get like treated differently?
In what? In like what?
And like they get a little more respect, held by their own because they're a smaller unit.
In the Navy, that same concept is there were certain levels on the ship. On my cruiser, the USS Arkansas, we couldn't go down to their level. So as soon as you go down, it was like off limits. And now they were Geiger counters. They had the little small testers or the vials, and every month they'd have to get tested. But I mean, really? So I'm thinking to myself, so I'm one level up on a deck. I don't have a Geiger counter, right? You know, so as if nuclear, if there was really going to go down in the middle of the ocean on this cruiser, like this one level of sheet metal is going to save me. So don't test me, but test everybody else. Still kind of crazy.
Yeah, it works. But, gravity pulls that radiation down, I think.
I hope so. Hey, I'm here, so it did good. But to your question around unit cohesivity or people, I just think it's natural. Guys that are like-minded, have the same duty, do the same type of jobs. You have a tendency to click, unless you get a couple bad apples and you don't want to hang with them, and they'll kind of sort it out. But generally, it's cliquish. It's even more on a small ship. We call them small boys. They'll cruisers, frigates, destroyers now. Frigates are all retired, but the Aegis class destroyers, Arleigh Burkes and stuff. What they'll do is, because they're smaller ships, you generally know everybody, 200-300 people. But when you go to aircraft carriers, that's the next level.
It's like high school.
It's high school, 5,000 people. It's a small city, as they say, what we see on TV. And you'll have the air debt, and then the brown shoes, black shoes, everybody kind of sticks to each other. And then you hear stuff like gangs and just stupid stuff, kind of hangouts. But we didn't have that. Like, I would have a couple Crips and stuff from LA, like, and they were like bosun's mates. But generally on such a small ship, it's, they're not.
Not a small town.
Everybody
almost
gets along for the most part. Yeah.
I want to show you. There's that flashlight.
Where is it?
See it hanging on my.
Show that to the screen. Here, I'll show that to the screen.
Yeah, I'll get it.
Okay. There's Cody's flashlight.
There's my flashlight my mom bought.
That's so funny.
And then the hat's the hat. Let me. There's my counter-terrorist hat I bought at the PX. You can see how got the little logo sewn in on top of it.
Good Lord.
And that's my $12 plate carrier.
Now, what's all that behind you? Is that a stash you guys came in across, or what?
Yeah, those were all, I think they were mortars, RPGs, mines.
Wow.
So this dude, here, let me show you this one. You can see that dude back there, right? See that guy? There's the head.
Yeah.
So my friend TJ took this picture, right? And he went, hey, look at me. And he went, click. And I took a step forward, and the dude behind me fired a gun off in there. And I'm sitting there, and I was surrounded by all these explosives. There's a bunch of Lee Enfields laying back down there. So he was picking them up and we're going to take some. And one went off, and I heard this, and I thought, we're dead. And turned around, I'm like, what the? And he's like, it just went off. And I'm like, it's been laying there for like 100 years. It didn't just go off today, man. So safety is kind of a big thing to me.
Oh yeah. Well, that's nuts.
Yeah.
I always wonder about things like that because you watch a lot of everybody wears a camera now, especially these days.
Yeah.
Helmet mounted cams and stuff. Probably didn't have too much of that when you were in there, but everything's getting recorded. It's 24/7 now. It looks like, and you kind of got to be careful. Well, I mean, you would think that certain things shouldn't get recorded for like OPSEC, and then certain things do, but then you hear about some officers, they'll go down like routes and stuff like in Iraq, and they'll like record everything. They analyze all the footage, and they're like, this is out of place, that's out of place. You know, they're looking for IEDs. And, you know, I guess it's a...
We had when I was getting ready to leave, they started giving out cameras to wear. And it's for training and good stuff. When we were there in those early days, we'd have to like take pictures of any enemy, and it was a nasty job. Fingerprints, DNA, and pictures, and then they shoot them back to the NCIC. But so thing was, they didn't give us cameras. So hey, someone on your team got a camera, and at that time, you know, it was just getting where some guys had these digital cameras. You could buy them at the PX, you know, like 2 megapixels.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I remember those little Sonys and stuff.
So that's when this camera started going around the battlefield. I never had one. That's why every picture I have was given to me. But yeah, man, it was well, and then they want us to take in pictures for intel with personal cameras. Now who owns is that illegal now? Because you can't take pictures of bodies. But yet you wanted us to.
And it's on your media.
Yeah,
so they take your memory stick or whatever it was called back then.
Yeah, but see, we never went back and forth, right? So we're always passing those sticks around to shoot them back by SAT.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We got one question. Acceleration rules. He says, I love shooting big bore weapons, but without hearing protection, not very useful for self-defense. Yeah. What are you shooting? And what do you think on that?
Man, I shot that 300 Blackout suppressed the other day, and that thing was amazing. I've shot a lot of suppressed guns before. 300 Blackout subsonic suppressed was definitely no hearing protection. And I don't even like firing 22s without hearing protection. That cracks enough for me. But this thing I'd shoot all day long, and it felt like a toy, but you knew you were throwing some steel. I mean, you felt the video I have on my Instagram, you see it kicking, but it's just like tuk tuk, you know. It's great, love it.
I did see your Instagram, and I was like, wow, either the audio was muffled or something, because it sounded really low. It sounded good.
And you can tell it's low because the ding, I was shooting at a 100-yard plate, and that ding is loud. So you know when you fire a gun, the audio shuts down, and you can barely hear the ding?
Yeah.
With this one, the camera's right in front of me, and that ding sounded like you were hitting it with a hammer. Does that answer your question, or the suppressor thing? I mean, that's a whole nother ball of wax, right?
Yeah. All right, so he says, 41 and 44 Magnum. Pistol caliber.
Oh.
Big boy pistol caliber stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They,
you kind of ask them, like, you're at home, you're going to shoot the stuff when you're at home defense, you don't have hearing protection.
Yeah.
You're just going to hear that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
Other than a monster suppressor, subsonic, but I will say this though, in that situation, I think your adrenaline's going to be pumping enough where it might not affect you so much.
Your ears will be ringing.
Yeah.
I think you got.
Well, you won't care.
You won't care.
If you're pulling the trigger of one of those guns inside your house, You know.
I think if somebody just kicked in your front door, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You know, you're grabbing whatever weapon you have,
Mm-hmm.
kind of on your nightstand or under the bed or something like that.
And I think with the adrenaline, you get a
You
little
deal with that
you get a little superhuman.
later.
I mean, stuff changes.
Heightened the senses awareness and all that. And
Yeah,
adrenaline
and pain doesn't
yeah,
factor.
yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
yeah, I can't. But like just for the straight up sound, I can't think of anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, subsonic silencer, suppressor.
Yeah.
Excuse me, God forbid I call it a silencer.
Yeah, yeah. People get bent out of shape on that. It doesn't matter to me. I'll call it either one. You know, one company actually called it Silencer Co. and then everybody else Suppressor. So it doesn't matter to me. But all right, anything over 44 Magnum is overkill. 500 Magnum is just stupid. Oh yeah. Wait a minute, Frank, one of your buddies, he came out with the hugest
Hand cannon.
hand cannon. He was here on the range, and he like broke out this guy. It was funny. What? That was a 500, wasn't it? It, man, it was. I didn't get a chance to shoot it, but I heard the guys on the hill shooting it, and it was something. You know,
Yeah,
I don't know
I
how
didn't
it
shoot it
handled,
either.
but anyways, yeah. To me, I mean, yeah, I have a 10 millimeter Glock on my nightstand, my G29. And I don't have hearing protection, so I think if it goes down, I'm just going to grab it and you know, go towards the threat. That's my plan. You know, I don't. I have enough ambient light. I don't really have a light thing. I kind of come from the. I believe in like, you know, my wife has little plug-in lights and stuff, so my area is pretty lit up. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to kind of do a little, you know. Either let them come to me, hunker down, call 911, or, you know, I don't have kids at this point, so I don't have to. I don't have to egress out of the master bedroom to another place. I'm kind of just staying put, and I'm letting the bad guy come to me.
Yeah.
You know.
You know another thing,
Yeah.
frangible ammunition.
Yeah.
There's we did some gel testing. That stuff's amazing.
Yeah.
And you're dumping that weight. You know, we shot an 8 grain,
Yeah.
55 grain. I mean, you're still dumping that weight, and that stuff breaks up, and the gel block exploded.
Yeah. That was cool. That was in
Yeah.
a video that Cody's talking about. We had this hog hunter, or hog hunter ammo. We just dropped it kind of a couple weeks
Hog
ago.
strike.
Hog strike. That's what impressed me. The metal particulate in that. Not just shattering, but going through, making the depth, making the hits, disintegrating, and then turning into shards. It just, the combination of how that made was kind of devastating. It was just
I
interesting.
think it's the video before.
Yeah, 2 videos ago.
Yeah, check that out. It's amazing.
Now, my brother-in-law called, and he saw that video. He goes, ooh, I wouldn't want to eat that hog because all that metal particulate. But you probably cut out that piece.
Yeah. And the
Something,
one ammo we
Get the
shot was
thighs.
for home defense.
Yeah.
So it had less penetration and, you know, 3 inches, I think, into this. 6 inches, not much. And the reason I bring that up, I just kind of jumped into that, but that was for the 50 cal 44 Magnum. You can go a little smaller with frangible and dump all that energy right there.
Yeah.
Where you might risk drilling a hole through them and not leaving the tissue damage behind. So, and one other thing I got to bring up on that note is failure to stop, right? So I've seen it a couple times, and it's always because of drugs. The times, I will assume it's all because of drugs. To the point, I remember, I won't tell that one, but I've seen, but yeah, there's some stuff where you're just looking, going like, how in the world is this guy still moving? And one time, more like 5 people found one, and they had Valium and Artane, and every one of them had to have passed, and never found them. Man, it was just they wouldn't stop. And we weren't using green tip. We had something else that should have stopped them. And so yeah, that punch of energy can get to be important. And more so, it can get to be to the point that you gotta don't stop, you know. So
All right, let me see what we got here. High point 10mm carbines. Yep.
Never heard of her.
Haven't tried it, but hey, 350. You want one? Paul Hurl's meat target. Dogs eat good meat. Paul loves green and white box Remington. Yeah. Yeah. Green and white box Remington. I shoot that. I've shot it. I kind of in 9mm. I shoot whatever's cheap. So I'll rotate for Sellenberlo, Remington. I try to stay away from the white box Winchester. I know you get hate on that. It's like religion, as I like to say. There's certain ammos that shoot good, or most of it shoots fine. The different grains on it. But what I start noticing, if you take a lot of classes, you start seeing your classmates having bad primers or bad. It's all about QA. I think every company's going to have, their own. Nothing's perfect 100% of the time. But I started noticing bad ammo in the Winchester white box, and we had one guy with a squib load. He shot, and all of a sudden we heard he was on the line. He was shooting, and all of a sudden we heard, instead of the standard bang bang, it went pop. It was like something a little different, and thank God he kind of noticed it. The sound was different, and it had shot. It had gone. The round had gone through his barrel. I don't know what he was shooting, a Glock or something, and it never exited out. So it didn't have enough power to go out. Squib load. Thank God he didn't pull the trigger a second time, and we had a catastrophic boom. But so that was that. We're like, what kind of ammo? He's like, Winchester white box. And I had it once. I bought a whole bunch of target loads because it was cheaper. And I just kind of noticed that the crimping where my bullet went into the casing, it was all it was jacked. And it was like, it just got smashed. And then we had another one where the primers they weren't level. So, you got to watch your ammo, especially if you train a lot. That's my point of that narrative there. Did you ever have any ammo that give you fits?
So I shot Winchester white box for 2 years.
Yeah.
And never had one problem. Like, not one. And I think through the military, I might have had some misfires, but I can't pinpoint any.
Yeah.
I've had these rounds that it seemed like they squibbed, okay? But the bullet never launched beyond the chamber so much, so the second round wouldn't seat. So I know there's been a time where with my AR, I pulled a round out. I thought the casing was stuck. I pulled the round out, and the bullet was stuck in there. So,
all right,
that's been more recently. Military didn't have much. They have some good ammo, man. Whether the ballistics is good or not, it's arguable.
Yeah.
But the stuff worked.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I see a lot of people have ammo problems when they start adding so many different components to their gun. Precision barrels and all these other, not matched up with the different companies, bolt carrier.
Yeah.
So, and that just gets like getting a Ferrari. Now I got to get some top fuel. I can't put the old spark plugs in it and Honda. I got to get,
Yeah,
so.
We kind of noticed that in one of your classes, and that's something I just picked up. We had a guy that had kind of a budget red dot, and then he had a 2x or a 3x magnifier. And to be honest, of course you got mounts, and your Picatinny rails, your mount, your optic. Mm-hmm. But we noticed that just one mount wasn't clearly, lined up with the next. Now, did that cause a problem with shooting? No. But yeah, you do have to kind of be mindful of that. You put all this budget stuff. That's a downside of budget. You got to make sure you're right. I believe in get a good quality mount. I don't always buy the best mounts. Like lately, I've been trying some more budget friendly mounts. But it's all about retaining zero and crap. Now, I'm not taking mine off, but you do have to reconfirm your zero. Because if you kind of do a little jingle jangle and you moving parts around, and when you go back out to train, you kind of got it. You need to don't trust that you got 100% where you last left it.
And I was talking about the bullets, so I was talking about like high-end guns.
Oh wow!
I went down to a tactical games in Mississippi.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys had to run, or everybody had to run through a shoot house with Sims. and none of the high-end guns could run them.
Mm.
So I had my budget gun, but my budget gun was a stock gun.
What is your budget?
I'll tell you when they pay me.
Aha! There you go.
You know, it was a factory model,
Yeah.
no parts changes on it, right? So it runs every time.
Okay.
And everybody had to borrow my gun.
That's funny. We got a question. Adrian. Adrian says, iron sights versus scopes. You want to take that?
Absolutely.
All right.
So I have been running iron sights now because I opened my mouth and told people like I can shoot up to 300 with iron sights. And I can because that's the way I was raised in the Army. Scopes do help. When I was overseas, I do if I was in urban areas, mostly Iraq, I ran just a red dot EOTech, the issued one in the SOP mod kit. And I'd go to Afghanistan, I'd put on my 4-power ACOG. And so then you go to scopes on a pistol, right? And even scopes on a rifle. Regardless, you got to line everything up. You got to get your eyes at, you got to line it up, you got to shoot. You got to pull the trigger, and wherever the gun's pointing when that trigger breaks is where the bullet's going. So to me with a pistol, all I do is look for the front sight. And I know this goes back, I'm like on my 6th way to shoot a pistol now, the older you get, and I just still line up my front sight. And I can shoot pretty damn fast. I think there's something to getting on your target faster a second time with a red dot. And I'd say with a rifle, under circumstances, yeah. Scopes, man, why not get all the help you can, you know? Why not get 4-power? And it makes it easier. So,
yeah. For mine, I'll take it with pistol. Depends on what you really meant, you know, Andre. But for iron sights, most pistols that's been the standard all these years. You know, I've traditionally shoot a lot of pistol, and I kind of believe blocking and tackling, you know, basics, getting down to basics. You got to get really good. You know, gripping, trigger alignment, trigger squeeze, eyes, picking up your sights, working on your speed, and getting good quality hits and a smooth trigger with no El Snatcho, no low left if you're right or the opposite if you're left. And, you know, I kind of believe you want to learn on iron sights. I'm big on that. Now, that's starting to happen in pistols is everything's going to red dots. Why? You know, holsters and things like that. And what's starting to happen is there's 2 schools of thoughts. One, you know, I haven't tried it a lot. I've used other guys' stuff, and I kind of struggle to find the sight. But there's a learning curve. I'm classically trained with irons. I'm not used to red dots, but I do believe it's the future. But you do have to be careful. If that optic breaks, it's another breakable part. I believe in, you know, you take the risk. If you want to put a doodad, hollow sun or something on yours, or, you know, somebody else's, you better test it a lot and make sure it works. And then they do have the co-witness or the lower 1/3. You want to have some iron sights in case you need to take that off. And then if you were going to ask about concealed carry, I don't know. I probably would not do that. I'm not going to concealed carry a red dot. Not that guys aren't doing it or you can't. I'm just not there yet. Now, in terms of training, we went to I've trained with other folks. And our general, we kind of laugh at it. We go, hey, when are you getting a red dot? Well, I'm going to get a red dot when everybody else in the class starts having one. So we're kind of doing the old aging eyes thing because your eyes can pick up a red dot. And if you get on it, I can tell you, you can, because it's instead of focus on your front sight, you focus on the target with a red dot. To me, if you know all of your fundamentals, a red dot shoots easier, and I'm literally kind of not doing it. Now, people trip out, though, because they start following the dot, and you don't do that. You just kind of look at your target. You don't try to chase your dot. So anyway, those are our thoughts.
That's why we tried lasers numerous times.
Yeah.
And guys wanted to have lasers. They want them to work. They don't work, you know. So now the question is, did they not work one day when 6 guys go and test them out, and they're like, oh, they're crap. You know, you got to train with this stuff, and it's different. You talked about just when I pull up my pistol, I know my eye's going to focus, right? And my eyes are getting bad, right? So the front sight's easy for me to focus on. Further than that, it starts getting difficult. So it's, I think it really goes back to training. You know, I can outshoot people with red dots on their gun. And then there's people with red dots on their gun that can outshoot me. And then there's a guy with a musket at the end who can outshoot everybody.
Yeah.
So it always goes back to training.
Yeah.
And then you got to look at if you do the same training with the same equipment, and then you do that training exactly the same with the red dot, are you faster? And that, you know, we don't know. It's an argument. That's why we still can't. What's the Ford Chevy?
Yeah, it
You know,
totally is.
It gets to
We rib on each other when we go to classes, and I'll have guys, they're breaking out their Canic with a red dot or their SIG with a red dot, and I'm like, oh, really? And we call them cheater dots, but we're really ribbing on guys, but they shoot good. I mean, I've seen a couple guys, everybody does this. They'll put up their red dot, like when they're first getting into it, and I kind of know it. It's not me, I observe, and they're like, oh, crap. Everybody's good, they're on it, and then somebody loses their dot. So it has to do with their mechanics and the way their draw stroke. You'll see somebody do this, and they're like, "Where is it?" You know. So, but I think you can train through that.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, I don't know. Like we were talking about the other day, training scars. I'm not ready to learn a new way to present that's slightly different because I'm afraid. If I kind of toggle back and forth, something may jack me up. Very similar like a 1911. You know, you draw from a 1911, they've got the safety. You're supposed to generally in your draw stroke, you click it off and you go. Well, I was shooting my 1911 a lot. Or sorry, I was shooting Glocks a lot. And then I went to my 1911 and I drew one time in a drill. I forgot to take my safety off. And I L-snatched it. I'm like, oh crap. You know?
Yeah.
That could have killed me if I was carrying that.
I know.
It could have.
That's why those guns should all be turned in and destroyed.
Oh gosh. I want to quote rotate through my guns, you know, but you do have to be careful.
Do we answer that person's question?
Yeah. Let me see. He said he was trained on iron. I think it's more pistol, right, Adrian? He says I was trained on iron sights with M16. We moved to M4s. Have opinion on scope, but didn't like it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, when I was leaving, we got the L cans, and those were the 1 to 4 power.
Yeah.
And then I looked one up. I'm like, I'm gonna buy one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm not.
Exactly. You saw $1,000 price tag on it.
Yeah. I'm like, I'll grab this knife for $1,000, and I'm like, let's go, mother. You know?
Yeah.
I'll take my chances.
Yeah. Adrian, did you guys have ACOGs or L cans? What did you guys have? Yeah. I don't want to get into that, bro. You know, I think I feel bad for you guys in London in general. White vans and knives, and you just got to do the best you can to be ready, protect yourself.
Keep your head up.
Yeah, keep your head up, man. I know in Europe there's a lot of air rifles and stuff like that, but yeah.
They got I was watching that. They come out with the best.
Which one?
Like the air rifles?
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap, those things are killing wild boars now, man. I kind of went from the pump up the thing. I had the Red Ryder.
Yeah.
For my grandmother, it was like they were running the originals. And then I see this stuff that they're making. Like, wow. Something to it.
Yeah. Ask me a different question. Throw one at me. Talk about military... something like that. Tactics, something like that. Let me see. Acceleration. All Glocks look the same, and guys own 10 of them. Yeah, well, that's true. When I first saw Glocks, they were very blocky looking. But see, when I first saw my first Glock, I think the show X-Files was on. And that's kind of when I thought they looked kind of cool. But beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Some guys think they look terrible, and then some guys are all right with them. Now, 10 of them, that's just a collector, you know. All that is different calibers. Once you get into the shooting sports, as you probably already know, and you start collecting, you want to try different calibers, you know, 10 millimeter, 9 millimeter, 40 Smith and Wesson was popular for a long time, right?
Coming back, I think.
Is it?
Some
it's
competition guys are getting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think it went away once the FBI dumped them.
Yeah.
You know, because the public, we follow them. ACOG, Adrian said. ACOG. Did y'all have ACOGs?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My local range, they were doing a clear out. So back to that L can, they had one in a box. I was like, wow. And it had been sitting in inventory a while. They're just trying to move it out. But it was awesome. It had this thing you zoom in, and it just it had clear, clean glass. But it's a big, chunky thing. Like an ACOG, they're a little more lower profile, narrower, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I have a small ACOG. I don't have that main one. All right. Anything you want to say on that? I'll hit the next question.
I will say this: so if you look at the World War II sharpshooters, snipers,
Yeah.
most of them, like some of the one of the lead Russian ladies, 20 years old, 56 kills in 1 year, and she had a 3.5 power scope.
Dang.
You know, and most of them were 4 power, of the good ones. So, you know, now we're talking 9, 16 power, all this stuff, and these guys were doing some long shots
Getting
with
it done.
4 power.
Yeah.
That's what ACOG is. That's why I bring that up.
Oh, I see.
So there's a lot to be said about the fundamentals.
Yeah, and the rounds and stuff. Let's
Yeah.
see. Acceleration. Gaston Glock is a criminal. Lots of families have bribed agencies. Oh, wait. Lots of gun families have bribed agencies, but they can still manufacture firearms. Gun families love those military contracts. Yeah, I got this one. I read a book on Gaston Glock. That story is incredible. You know, it's like this. There's like so many of them, but it was unbelievable, Cody. How they go after the contracts. How they got an American distributor. I know it from the Americans' perspective. I don't know if you're overseas or what, but the Austrians, how he was basically living in his shop, and he was creating, I think, a shovel for the Austrian military,
Bayonet,
and
or
a knife, and they opened up a contract, and he went to these generals. So the story goes, he says, "Hey, I went in on that. Can you tell me what the specs?" And they laughed at him, you know. And he kept doing it, and he brought him to his house, and he has an engineering mindset, and he was like, and they said, okay, we want this grip angle and not that, because it does have a different grip angle, and this is how I would do it, and he had the tough, the polymer and the materials, and just how he did the business, how he moved into America. He won that one contract, and then back then in the early 80s, how they would go to these SHOT Shows in Vegas.
Suitcases of money, man.
Suitcases and money and entertainment. And the way they did it, it was just incredible. Mm-hmm. And it's the gold standard, whether we like it or not. Smith and Wesson and all those guys, there's a couple lawsuits early on. They tried to copy him, because they were coming off of steel frame revolvers and that famous FBI shootout, and they wanted more capacity, higher capacity, and that was the way. It's a fantastic story. However, I know what you mean. Back to, that's the bad side of business. Their ability to work the system, get contracts.
Right.
And I've seen some videos over there, employment stuff. But I think, I don't know what to say on that, beyond that.
Yeah, I could do a whole week's worth of video. I worked government sales.
Yeah.
After I got out, I was a buyer. My last 2 years in Special Forces, I was the mobility NCO. So I had a $680 million budget, and I was in charge of everything from our dirt bikes up to the MRAPs, of the sustainment and the requirements. And then I got out and went on the government contracting side, and saw how that game was played. And I got, in 4 years, I got 2 bills passed in Congress. I got my name on 2 trademarks, and I think 5 or 6 trademarks and 2 patents.
Wow.
And it's all
Are you rich?
was. Yeah,
2 patents.
No,
Share the love.
No, I don't. My name's on them.
Oh.
I don't own them.
Oh.
That's that was the deal. So,
Oh.
but yeah, I mean, even a patent, they're no good unless you got an attorney to
Are
go
they
defend
gun
them.
or product related or
Vehicle related?
Vehicle related.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So they're hard to defend, and you got to have money to defend them if you want to. So
Yeah.
it but yeah, the business is kind of. You know, I never saw any like dirty stuff. You see dirty tricks, but not like straight up bribing, stuff like that. So. You know, one thing about the Glock, that's what I shoot. And the reason I do is my last 2 years in the Army, when I was the mobility guy, I sat next to the weapons guy. And the unit was doing a pistol test, and they fired every pistol I've ever seen in my life, millions of rounds, for about a year.
Mm.
And when it came to the end, they said, this Glock is 400% more reliable than the number 2 pistol.
Yeah.
So they went with that one. And man, it was blasphemy. Changed from a 1911 to this. And
See, I heard
they
that.
went 40 cal.
Oh.
And then they went with, they did get some 1911 race gun.
But it wasn't standard, right, Cody? It was certain units could use the Glock. We always heard the SEALs could take the Glocks because they had the latitude in their units to get them. That's pretty much public knowledge.
Yeah, it was the unit.
Yeah.
And we had some. We had SIGs, Glocks. I tried carrying a 1911 once, and so I grab it down range. Never shot it before. I'm like, give me a holster, and off I go. Well, then when I started drawing it and training, I wouldn't hit that rear safety. So now I take electrical tape and I tape that up.
Mm.
You know, and then we're carrying it, got it on.
The beaver tail. We're pressing in that beaver tail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I tape that down, then I keep the hammer back on safe was the way we carried it, and I'm just like, man, I can't hit crap with this thing. My hand doesn't fit right.
Yeah.
So I carried about maybe a month, and then I went back.
Yeah, the pro shooters would pin those down. That's what Vickers told us. That he was telling me. A lot of these guys love those 1911. I mean, I like them too. I really do. But I'm not carrying one in my, SHTF type scenario. I would probably just go default to a Glock 19.
That was my whole thing. I was like, it's reliable.
Yeah.
That's what I want to hear. I mean, the 1911, it was a 1911 design.
Yeah.
And Brownie thought he screwed it up, so he did the high power,
Yeah.
So it's a great gun. It's an American gun. I love the way it looks, but
I love it.
If
it's
I'm
good
gonna
for a collector, but not a. Yeah. I'll never forget. When I was in a training class with my 1911, and we were just kind of switching to our support hand, and I did this draw. I switched, and I went to shoot, and I didn't get a good grip, and sure enough, my hand did not. I didn't hit that back strap. It was jacked. I didn't get a good grip, and the gun didn't work right. I'm like, gosh. Another thing too is I didn't have an ambidextrous. I'm thinking, do I really need an ambidextrous?
I'm wondering why the hell you're drawing and switching hands.
Oh, because
The friggin' drill is that?
we're on a flat range mindset.
Well, what do you
drill? Yeah.
So
I got to draw, and then it's a shoot from the weak hand drill. So I'm drawing like this, right? I present the target, and if ring doesn't shoot because I'm not gripping it hard enough. I have a crappy grip, and then I couldn't engage the safety because I didn't have the ambi. I'm like, it's just kind of goofy.
You should draw and then hand your gun to the person to the left. Right. But no, that's
Yeah. Just
of all the problems you could have, that's
Yeah.
minor.
Yeah.
But if your right arm's hurt, how are you going to draw? Shouldn't you have it on a table in front of you or on the floor?
Exactly. Well,
Oh, who's cussing us out?
no one. We're going light on questions at the moment, and we're an hour in, so I think we can wrap it. Yeah, we'll wrap it. Any final words, guys? Go ahead, Cody. What do you got tonight? Close us out.
Just be here next week. I'm just gonna try to start doing this on Fridays, right?
Yeah.
Except hopefully we'll be out by the fire.
Yeah.
So we collected wood, built it, everything.
Yeah.
And then the rain came.
Yeah. And for you local guys, make sure you come out. Hey guys, we appreciate it. It was our first time doing a live stream. It's very difficult. Really, literally, you don't know how to do the thing, post the thing, hit record. You're welcome. We thank you. Acceleration rules. You do rule. Appreciate you, brother. It was cool just you kicking out a couple questions for us. A couple of the other guys were saying they couldn't get text through, but for the most part, it looks like it's working. So our local guys, we'll have to get on them. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching the podcast. Wherever you're doing, hopefully you're doing well, and we're out of here.
Yeah.
All right.
Instagram
Take care, guys.
channels.
Oh, Instagram. Go ahead.
Special Ops Fitness is my Instagram channel. And tomorrow